this will be a little special.
Yes.
This is the first time we actually, or to rewind it a bit, we have so many good coffees in. And on the podcast and here we rarely talk about our current lineup of coffee. We did it in the beginning, but then we realized like guests are more fun to listen to. So this episode is actually towards all our wholesale partners, right?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, so we talk a lot about all the coffee enthusiasts out there. You especially, sometimes I host people on the podcast who are guests who are various roles in coffee or just, whole lovers of coffee.
Yeah.
But the truth is that a lot of what we do on a daily basis is roast coffee for our wholesale partners.
Yeah.
We have a few here in Sweden, but most of our wholesale partners are in other places than Sweden. And again, on a daily basis, we're communicating with them, whether, we're taking orders, giving them some information of what's going on, roasting and shipping.
Yeah.
So we thought it would be a great idea to talk a little bit more in this format about our current lineup from the wholesale list perspective.
Yeah. And it's a good list.
It's a sick list.
It's a sick list. Just to mention it, the new Nirvana lot is above everything else on the list.
Yes.
Recently went online, and we have orders coming in from.
And just for those who don't know, so the other day we released Nirvana from Iris Estate, which is a Jameson Savage project in Panama, and Nirvana sort of taste profile or process is a complete bespoke sort of process by Jameson Savage, and been used many times from his various projects in World Roasted Championship finals.
We had last year as well, or coffees from Iris. They kind of flew out the door. Now we have a little bit more in stock.
Yes.
But it's a very limited release.
Yes.
Should I just go through the list and then we can just briefly talk about it?
Yeah, and so go through the list, but let's stop at all the coffees, and we have lots to say about everything.
Yeah. So next on the list after Nirvana is another Jameson Savage coffee, his amazing Parabolic Geisha. It's been up on the list for a few weeks now, and it's like the perfect competition coffee.
Yeah.
In terms of process and everything.
And just to say, we're starting on our wholesale list, we sort of go by competition, and then we move into the specialty coffee range. So I love the Parabolic Geisha. Also, as a pairing with, we used to have Iridescence, which is the washed version of this coffee.
It's just sold out, right?
It's just sold out.
We had a client in Taiwan who booked
bought the last 5 kilos.
Yeah.
Yes.
Boom.
Yes.
Sold out.
Very good order.
Yeah.
So the Parabolic is that amazing high quality Panama Geisha from the highest elevation possible, and perfect fermentation and perfect processing. So fruit forward, but balanced, and just such high quality of everything in this coffee.
It's good. Very, very good. I just packed another batch of Wilton Benitez that we roasted yesterday. It's been up and running for some time now.
Yeah,
it's just such a floral and crisp washed geisha, even though it's a thermal shock one.
Yes. So the Wilton Benitez Geisha is so yeast inoculated in the fermentation tank, and then also thermal shock, really highlighting the florals. And me personally, we've been drinking a lot of coffees that are sort of washed in the end, but have undergone various forms of fermentation. So the Wilton Benitez washed geisha is just
to stop there, we have now a natural geisha from Jameson and a washed geisha from Jameson. Just super short, how do you differentiate your philosophy in roasting these two coffees?
So when it comes to roasting these two coffees, oh my goodness, it's such a such a complex question. No, but simply, you have to look at like how fermentation and how the natural versus washed process affects the green coffee, the raw coffee. And very often what you will notice when you are roasting, for example, a natural processed coffee is that you really have to control the energy going into crack, which is at the end of the roasting curve, so that you don't lose control. Also, another thing is that natural processed coffees tend to, you experience them as more developed. If you would roast a natural processed coffee and a washed processed coffee exactly the same, you will experience it as if the natural coffee is more developed than the washed coffee. So, but then it's, so
years
many
of
variables.
experience.
But you do roast them differently. Of course.
Two coffees that are soon going out the door is Santa Gertrudis, the washed Typica. It's been around, it's super good. And also the Papayo that we had on World of Coffee in Copenhagen, doing espressos out of it. Really, really, really good competition coffees, and fun to also have a Ecuadorian coffee in the lineup.
And the Santa Gertrudis, it's the second year that we work with them, and last year we had a Sidra, this year the Típica Mejorado, and again, the reason why we're selling out of that one now is we had another customer in Finland order, a 5 kilo batch of that competition coffee, which is, I love when wholesale clients, are like, well, I'm gonna order as much as I need. I'm gonna very likely put it in the freezer, sort of portion it out during the coming months. This is how much we need for our coffee bar. I love that kind of forward and creative thinking. When it comes to the Papayo, I just again want to go back to Jose Giraldo. Came to Copenhagen, was with us in the booth as we served his coffee as espresso, and we had so many people come by and say like, this was a mind-blowing experience. We had like fantastic water curated by Blue Water. We had a Keys van der Western machine, the EK43 grinder, just like everything was under complete control, and it went so well.
Yeah, that's cool. That's the competition lineup for now.
Yes.
We have more good stuff in stock, but that's for another episode.
Yeah, we have more coming out.
And if you're planning on competing on coffee, we will be able to release stuff like under the radar, or at least get samples out to you of the things we have in stock that are not yet released, because we know competitors are always looking for the best and stuff like that. So if you're planning on competing, just we have a secret list
and
for you guys.
We have one barista in Poland, we have one barista in Italy that we have sort of shared with them, as you say, under the radar, like what's happening in the coming months. We're sending some samples. And for example, the barista in Italy, he already has an idea. This is the concept I am looking to explore in my presentation. Do you have coffees that would fit? And so we're really like curating his setup and presentation as a collaboration, which is amazing.
So if you plan on compete, just contact us through anywhere, and we have you covered. Going into specialty, we have a little bit too many coffees, I would say. No. It's amazing. There's so much new good coffees coming into the roastery almost every day now, and starting up from the top, another bomb from Wilton Benitez.
The yellow Typica. Where do we have it? We brought the jars out here to show. So the yellow Typica, again, yeast inoculated and thermal shock, a washed yellow Typica. Wilton Benitez, one of the more progressive producers in Colombia. It's just been so like super high quality, amazing. And I know that, for example, we had a coffee bar in London use this for batch brew. The Instagram post was something like, it's raining today, so let's brew some Wilton Benitez yellow Typica on batch today.
Sun will be out.
It's And I mean, so going back to as this is geared towards wholesale partners, many of our wholesale partners, they will get, like 20 kilos of this, which will be for the espresso grinder, and then they'll get another 5 or 10 kilos of something for the batch brew. And then they always, if they have a pour over menu, they'll curate something for that. But they always buy the jars for the retail shelf because, who doesn't want to pick this up and buy this?
That's true. Another thermal shock on row 2. It's Jorge Mira, the Rosado.
Yes.
I think I had it this summer, and it's a lot of flavors. And when I came back now, and when people that actually know how to brew coffee brewed it for me, it's so good.
It's
so good.
Yeah.
And it's really like, I wouldn't say crowd pleaser, but like, if you really want to try something unique from us and you're not used to what potentially can be in these kind of coffees.
And it is a washed coffee.
Yeah.
So it's not like the funkiest, craziest, most natural, whatever. It's like super expressive, a Rosado variety. And just like it's actually been one of my favorite coffees for a while.
Super
now.
good.
Yeah.
For the last 2 or 3 weeks, I had the pleasure of brewing Alejandra Munoz Pink Bourbon together with Jonathan Gasca as espresso at home, and it's like a peach bomb.
Yeah,
I brew it fast. Going back to what the Brew Journal guys,
right,
especially Håkan, doing like 19 grams in, and I think this morning I pushed up to like 55 grams out in I wouldn't call it like a turbo shot, but it's around 20 seconds.
Yeah.
I have space on my grinder to go finer, so I could definitely do it, but it becomes like just this super intense cup of filter coffee almost, but as espresso.
Right.
And the Pink Bourbon really shines through, and I think Alejandro Munoz and Jonathan is doing an amazing job at the farm with these kind of coffees.
And this coffee has been in the espresso grinder at one of our wholesale partners here in Stockholm for the last couple of weeks. And we've had so much amazing feedback from people going there, trying the coffee and just like being like, what, this is like the baseline espresso. This is the quality of the coffee is so amazing.
And if for milk beverages and stuff, you can easily just taking out like at 19 in and maybe 35 out to get a little bit more intense base for your milk, and it will work perfectly. Maybe as a single espresso it will be like a little bit too harsh, but with milk it's perfect.
And I want to add just, so going back to sort of the connection to competition, so Alejandra Munoz and her husband Jonathan Gasca worked together with the barista champion from Australia who placed second at the World Championship, and they produced one of the coffees that he used. So even if we're talking about like the coffee that is being used in the espresso grinder at one of the ambitious coffee places here in Stockholm, it's the level of ambition is like amazing.
Yeah, it's good. Finally, Ethiopians arrived.
Yes.
So we have Yukro and also the new Mesa Robe from Ture. From Vaji from Sanko Coffee, and we did an amazing podcast with him. Everyone should check it out. It's linked and in the playlist, and
And so for me, so the Yukro is washed coffee. The Mesa Robe is a natural processed. One of the more exciting aspects of these coffees is that the Yukro Co-op or water processing station is run by Mike Mamo. Mesa Robe produced his own lot, and together with Ture. So all of a sudden, we're talking about individual coffee producers in Ethiopia, which has rarely ever happened previously. In many other coffee producing countries, we're talking about Wilton Benitez or Alejandra Munoz. Now we're talking about Mike Mamo and Ture and Miesa Robe as individual producers, and sort of highlighting the transparency and the lineage of the coffee that we're tasting in this way for Ethiopia is like a totally new step. Very, very exciting.
Yes, and we have, just to mention, all of these coffees as filter profiles and also espresso profiles. The espresso subscription is not towards wholesale partner, but it's growing a lot. There's a lot of espresso people out there. Two more coffees. Jose Guzman's, his pink bourbon, and also the fantastic foundation for espresso from Brazil.
Yes.
And do we have them on the
We
table?
we have the Red Catuai by Eduardo Campos. This is the Brazilian coffee. And this really is like the classic sweet cocoa sort of caramel. It really is like a classic, really high quality Brazilian coffee and natural processed catuai. And the pink bourbon by Guzman is, again, it's a washed pink bourbon huila, just like super high quality, super crisp. The like quality of the acidity, but also just the aromatics. It's an amazing coffee. And also, to put it in perspective, it's a crazy good coffee for the price.
Yes. Bang for the buck.
Yeah.
Something like that. We have, just to go through the last part, we have some new merch coming in. We have the Standout Coffee cap and also some coffee merch that I'm playing around with online. And that actually gets some attention now. And cap and hoodies, t-shirts, we're gonna stock up on them. Tote bags. And also we have two capsules, one from Brazil, from Ignacio Suarez, and also Diego Garcia's Lord Voldemort capsule. More on these later as well, because we're gonna go deeper into the morning machine and stuff later on.
But all of them an espresso machine compatible. And again, sort of the coffee that we have in these capsules are the same coffees that we have in our specialty lineup by the same producers that we work with year after year. So the quality of the green coffee, and it's roasted by us. So the quality of the coffee is very, very high. And I love being able to sort of challenge preconceived ideas of like what's good and bad. And I think like everybody should try this.
Yes. Cool. I think this was a new take on an episode for us. I don't know if we would call it a podcast or just a wholesale update.
But it also just sort of like from the wholesale perspective to, just imagine your retail shelf, or
it's cool.
It's very nice, it really like everything works together. We obviously always are tweaking design, new stuff happening always. But very nice sort of visual coherence here.
And just to make some advertising for us, we're growing quickly on YouTube, which I'm super happy for and I worked hard for. We have a couple of thousand subscribers now and hopefully more to come. Podcasts are up like on a regular basis. We had Ikuo and I from Japan yesterday for a podcast. It's editing right now and will be up soon. Brew Journal guys, Slow Hands were here, and then the episode with Cut Export, and that was super nice. It's in Spanish, but you can use subtitles if you don't fancy to. And please subscribe, share, everything like that. It helps a lot. And yeah, we're gonna keep on exploring what we can do for the community on YouTube, and also the bridge to Instagram, which is our 2 main channels. And hopefully everyone that sees this anywhere, just hit the subscribe button. Cool. Let's cup some coffees.
Yes.
Veronica's table lined up.